Hi, I'm Richard Muscio, founder of Move Your Feet Before You Eat Foundation and associate producer of Stickability, premiering this evening at ArcLight here in lovely La Jolla. I'm here with John Assaraf, who is known as Mr. Remax. Tell us about that story, how you got into the real estate business.
When I was 19, I was trying to figure out my life, what I was going to do, and somebody said, hey, why don't you get into real estate? And not having a college degree and having a high school grade 11 education, they said that sales might be something you're good at. And so I started with real estate when I was 19, and bought the franchising rights for Remax when I was 26, and then built a 100-office operation with 1,500 salespeople, and the rest is history.
But you know a bit about Stickability because when you bought that franchise, I believe it was in Indiana, it had failed a few times before, right?
Well, I found out after I bought it that two people had owned the franchising rights before me, and it had failed for them. And I remember actually having a meeting with a reporter, and he said to me, well, do you realize that Remax failed here twice before? And I said to him, I said, well, if I gave you a Mercedes-Benz and you drove it into a ditch, where's the problem? And he says, well, that's a very, very good point. I said, I know that it works, and I'm going to make it work here. And so adversity is not something that's unusual for me, or for any entrepreneur for that matter.
And I know one of your keys to success was focusing on the brain and the brains of your key team members. Can you describe that importance of the brain in your world?
Well, there's a lot of research, especially right now, around how the more positive we think, the more we create these neural patterns or software of the brain. And so you can actually train yourself to recognize when you're in either a negative brain thought pattern, emotional pattern, or behavioral or destructive pattern, and you can become aware of that and teach yourself how to go into a positive thought pattern, emotional pattern, behavioral pattern. And that just takes some awareness. Just like playing tennis takes a little bit of practice, just like learning chess or a musical instrument takes some practice, you can actually start to become aware of your own thoughts and feelings and behaviors and stop the ones that are destructive, start the ones that are constructive, and over a period of time, you train your brain to focus on what you want. You train your brain to have you in a happy, healthy, vibrant mood most of the time. And more importantly, you train your brain to have the right habits to achieve the goals you want. And what that doesn't mean is that you don't have challenges along the way. Every one of us has challenges along the way in various areas of our lives. The key is what you do about the challenges. How do you think about them? How do you emotionalize them? And then how do you respond instead of react?
And what do you hope to get out of watching the premiere of Stickability this evening?
You know what, whenever I see movies around successful people who have overcome adversity, who've stuck with, what it is that they've attempted, that everybody says it can't be done, it won't be done, you can't do it, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're too old, or whatever the case is. When you see people who've overcome that, it just re-inspires you. It fires off, the neurons of possibilities in your own brain. For me, it energizes me. It gives me a lot more hope. I keep setting bigger and more bold goals than I've ever had before. And so I have my own doubts and fears, around my own new, bigger goals. And so when I see people and hear about, accomplishments that other people have, I go, yeah, I can do this too.
Great story. Hope you enjoy the premiere tonight. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.